Hello everyone, so it's Alfred here, and today I'm going to show you how to create a very good reference board or good mood board so as to have all the references and the materials on the same page to get your creativity going and to be able to visualize your final product in a much better manner. And the reference boards and mood boards are a very good technique to use. So this is what this video is going to be about. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you this video, and it's going to be the subject matter that I'll talk about later. So let's get started. Okay, so that's a pretty cool video. I hope you enjoyed it. So as you can see, a lot of these short videos have a very good storyline. I'm just gonna stop here. So I imagine if I'm the director of this film, I'll need to basically break up this story into two parts, which is actually what is happening here. So the first part of the film is actually a very desaturated color. It's having a very dark tone to it. It's like a point of view from the subject itself, from the victim almost at the start. So you get the feeling that it was a murder scene. You got murdered, you got kidnapped, and then you got transported somewhere to become dismembered almost. So this is like one whole sequence, and the whole sequence. So take note of the word. The whole sequence has the same mood or the same darkness to it and the same colors to it, and this is how the director is able to direct you this way into the story and to mislead you in a way that to think that it's actually a very dark scene. And the joke is he twisted, he gives the story a twist later, a very nice twist, and then from the same point of view again, it becomes a warm, happy, and warm and almost a celebrative Christmas environment. And then you realize that, oh, it is just a tree. So this is the point of view from a tree. So it wasn't that bad after all. Why do you have such a fear coming from this film? Why do you experience that? It's all because of how clever the director is able to lead you in his film. His choice of colors, his choice of mood that he sets, the kind of tones that he decided to create, and how clever he used the actor's expression to be able to do all this. And it's a very beautiful thing if you are able to control it well as an artist or as a director, and it's definitely something to think about. And yeah, so if I were to excuse me, look at this, the whole part one where it's very dark is one sequence. The second part where it's bright is the second sequence, and every sequence has a lot of shots, so every camera change is one shot itself. And just to let you know that many shots make up a whole sequence. So in order to get the different shots to look the same or similar, you need to take into factors of the color considerations, the camera angles, how much shadow there is in the scene itself, and the look of the whole film in general. So he cleverly split this into two sequences with two types of color schemes, and I would imagine he'll be able to you'll need to research on different reference boards and mood boards before you get this started. Okay, so so if you want to start grabbing reference boards like this, I will put them all on a A4 size paper with 300 dpi resolution. Okay, so right now I'm in Photoshop and I'll just create new. I'll go to print, the easiest way, and then I'll just select A4 size paper and I'll click OK. So this is my A4 size paper, and if I check the size, it is 300 dpi high resolution. So this will be great for print, and we can even print it in A3 size. Okay, just because it's 300 dpi, it's quite high resolution, and it's very easy to put high resolution images into this image size that we have. Okay, so let's say I find an image or a set of color schemes I like. Let's say I want to take this picture as my reference. I can also take a screenshot. So what I did is I have this software that is very handy for me. It's called Greenshot. Greenshot is a freeware, and every time I take a screenshot, I'm able to capture just the section of the sections of the monitor that I want to capture, and it will also save a JPEG. So I customize it. I save a JPEG in my screenshots folder, and I also capture it as onto my clipboard, so I can just paste it into Photoshop. So if I just do a print screen, so this is what Greenshot does. I'll just capture it right here, and it will do a measurement very nicely for me, and I'll just capture it. So now I go to Photoshop. I can just Ctrl V or Command V. I'll do a paste. So this is Ctrl V, paste, and I get my image in. Okay, so it's very handy for me. So if I want to grab multiple screenshots, different resolutions from the screen, I don't need to always get the super high res ones. I can get middle res, which is normally my screen size. I have quite a big monitor, and it's quite enough for me. If I want to maximize it, I can also do that, and then I can just grab it like this, so that the resolution will be higher when it's maximized. And it's just a handy way for me to take references very quickly. And trust me, you'll love this Greenshot software once you get it, because it's so handy to use. So this is another video I was looking at just now. I was just analyzing how much shadows is being used to create kind of intense environment. The shadow overlooking on the other side of the child's face. Much of the scene is lit in shadow itself. The light is very intense on the left, and yeah, good lighting references, and just rim light coming from behind the character tells a lot. So as you can see, I take screenshots very quickly, and I'm able to create a mood board really quickly. If you haven't checked out this film, go and check it out as well. It's very interesting, and that's not the point of this video, so I will not do it yet. But yeah, you get the idea. So a lot of it, the lighting is actually really great, and it gives a really spooky feeling to this film itself. Just showing you how I would make a reference board that I like or that will kind of inspire me. The idea is to just get all my thoughts on a single board, uh, and to quickly be able to put everything together. And normally when I'm kind of squeezed with all the boards, I try to size down on one of it. So I'm just control clicking on one of these pictures. So every time I control click, you can look at my layer here. I'm changing different layers. So control click here, and start moving here, moving this, control click here, and start moving this. And this is because my auto select is on. Okay, I'm using um, auto select off by default, and so that when I want to auto select part of the image itself, I can just hold down Control or Command and click on it to select that image itself. By default, it is on, but I always keep it off. Been using Photoshop for like nearly 20 years, I think, and yeah, I will never keep it on, seriously. But it's up to you, and default is on. But if you like it on like this, so every time you just click on an image, you'll start moving it. But the thing is, when you actually don't want to move it, it's really annoying because you will think that you want to move this image. But I would rather have the full control of this using my control button and using my layers. So let's say I only want to move layer 5. I will not accidentally move layer 6 when my mouse is over it. I will only move layer 6 of this layer. Layer 6 is this one. I'll only move layer 6, which is this one, if my mouse is over it and I hold Control, left click, then now I can move this layer. Anyway, so I'll size this down, and for my reference boards, like normally when I put everything together, and let's say I really like this, I don't like this image so much, I'll size it down a bit, and maybe if I really like this image, I think this is a key reference, maybe the composition or the feel of the look really inspires me, maybe a famous director that you really enjoy or be inspired by his movies, I would scale that up. So this becomes my key reference, and you don't need to say too much about it. Like, it's self-explanatory. Since the image is so big, this must be one of your key reference, and I'll leave it like that. And the position doesn't matter as well, but I like to keep everything really tight together. So let's say grab a few more images or from different films, and let me think about the depth of field or the colors that is being used in the image itself. Maybe this one, maybe I like this image a lot as well. Let's put it here, put it in. So you can see that the aspect ratio is different. So this is probably a lot more cinematic. 239 to 1 probably, and that's why the size is slightly different from the rest. Okay, so let's say this is what I like, and I think I maximize most most of the space I have. And I'll just select all these layers, I group it up, and I'll call it board 1. So it's like my reference board 1, you know. So I just group it up so everything is neat and tidy, and you can notice my background is black in color. Just now I just press Ctrl I on my keyboard. So Ctrl I is to just invert. What's invert? Yeah, I don't really know where the default is, but anyway, it's just invert. And so what it does is just inverting the colors: white to black, red to green, blue to orange. Yeah, so like red color becomes more like green or cyan color. So every time you press Ctrl I, it inverts the color, and sometimes you will need it to just look at a different color. So in case if your background is also red, and now I don't know where my circle is, so I just press Ctrl I, and now I know exactly where my circle is. And just a quick way for you to know exactly where the position of your thing is, in a way. Okay, so black. Oops, let me keep this black. Delete this, and this is my reference board one. Cool. So this could be like film, um, slightly dark, slightly dark move reference board. And I don't really like the words to be too big, so I always try to keep it very small and classy. That's just my preference. So now I'll create a second board. So let's say let's go for some happy or warm colors. If you did some photos of the different expressions of human beings, like happy, sad, disgust, uh, you kind of have this kind of references before already. So I'll just show you another method. So let's say if let's say I use this folder, and maybe I'll call it reference box. Okay, so I'm gonna use this folder, copy. And I'll just when I save the image, I'll paste it into this folder so that you always give me the right direction to save in. Save images, save in this folder. Pretty cool, happy images. Okay, I know there's some watermark on it, but on the grand scheme of things, for a reference board, it's still workable. Wasn't too bad. And also this is actually looking pretty fake. Look at this one. Happy. Alright, so I have a bunch of images. So another way, if you don't want to install Greenshot, you just want to put images in, is you grab everything in one folder and then you just drag it in. And there are two ways to just put into your reference board. You can drag it in, you can put it down right here, and you can see there's this white line over here, and it shows that it's telling you that you're dropping directly into this file itself, into this reference board file. Or another way is I drag and drop on top of here, so it will open as individual tabs, 4 tabs on top. So what it does is that when I drop it on top of this bar over here, it will drop as 4 open folders, 4 images on top. Okay, so let me try both. So you can see, so see I can put them all in, and I guess the default settings for Photoshop now is they will all come in as smart images. So what smart images is that no matter how low res I put it and then I expand it up, it will still retain the same resolution, the sharpness of it. So that's why it's really sharp over here. And I'll just size them down really quickly, and I can just put them up as my reference boards again. So typically I want more reference boards in each scene, like maybe one really huge one that you really like. Let's say I really like this one, and then I'll keep the rest to be mostly small. and I'll just keep compiling more over here. So one, maybe a few more over here like this. You get the idea. So this will allow you to get the creativeness going really fast, and every time you want to take more reference of a happy mood board, you can just open up this folder, reference board, and yeah, you can it's much easier for you to get all the references like this. So this is the more slightly darker mood board. It's not even that dark yet, it's just slightly more sophisticated almost, and a little bit more depth to it, and this is more highly saturated and conveying the pure bright happiness that we know of. So it's very very useful. So don't look down on reference boards. It's very very useful. The reference board, and you find it very useful if you do it right. Okay, so another way just now I was going to show you is to just drag and drop on top like I said, and you bring every image separately. So the troublesome thing is that now we have to Ctrl C, Ctrl V, select all. Select all is Ctrl A. So Ctrl A, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and then we will start to paste it into this folder. So every time we have to select the whole image, Ctrl A, Ctrl C, close it, and then paste it, and then we start putting them in. So it depends on which one you prefer, and of course you have the classic method of just opening the folder. Okay, so let's say I come to the Windows Explorer to grab this directory again, and now I can use my open to just open the directory and the 4 image files and open them up, and same thing, Control A, select all, Control C, copy, Control V, paste, and start putting up my mood boards like this. Alright, so I hope you learned something from creating a mood board, and yeah, so start creating a very good mood board. And normally I'll create at least 3 mood boards before I progress further into my storyline or my short films, and yeah, it's very useful. Alright, see you next time. Bye.